I thank our witnesses for being here today. I'd like to explore how artificial intelligence technologies and their continued advancement intersect with this topic. Predicting food insecurity so that we can obtain and pre-position supplies has been a life-saving advancement in the field of humanitarian aid made during our lifetimes. The ability to build diverse supply chains for food stocks not only means on-time delivery of critical supplies, but also a widening humanitarian donor and supplier base, which itself helps to mitigate insecurity. Artificial intelligence enables humanity to fight food insecurity at every stage of development, automating R&D to design more resilient, high-yield seeds, optimizing and mapping yields throughout each growing season with autonomous tractors and drones, and predicting disruptions to enable a resilient supply chain that meets demand and saves lives. But AI's use as a predictive tool is only as good as the data it's trained on. An unprecedented disruption of global supply routes, be it through the Red Sea, Black Sea, or overland, has direct consequences on food and ag availability. So to both of our witnesses, please give us a state of play, or in the absence of tangible examples, your assessment of how AI can and should be deployed to better predict both ag shortages due to issues like water scarcity, natural disasters, or quality of cropland, and global supply route disruptions and the cascading effect of logistical and transportation disruptions to food supplies for countries who heavily rely on imports.
I'll begin. Senator, thank you for that most interesting question. I think I'm too old to be an expert on AI, but we've recently had the occasion to use AI in some of our work with some interesting results. We, in the VAX program, the Vision for Adapted Crops and Soils, we focused on 60 traditional and indigenous crops in Africa that had a lot of potential for adding nutrition. There wasn't a lot known about those crops. We used AI and found, I think, an astonishing 180,000 pieces of information that otherwise couldn't have been found, and that could now be assembled and used to map out where those crops can be grown, what kind of nutrition they can add. Similarly, on the soil side, I'll say that there is a huge challenge in Africa to map and model the soils of Africa. If you're going to have a productive and sustainable system of agriculture, you have to know, as a government, where your good soils are, where to promote agriculture, where not to, and what kinds of crops to promote, and as a farmer, what kind of practices to promote as well. We take that for granted. In the United States, we have GPS-linked tractors and combines, for instance. That doesn't exist in developing countries. But using AI and other technologies, we can begin to model what satellite data we do have, model the soils without the necessity of going to each individual, sometimes 1- and 2-acre farm, to take soil samples and begin to give the farmers the kind of information that we take for granted here. And to your point about the quality of the data going into such a system, through cell phone use, through apps, you can get now, even in Africa, recommendations at the farm level of how you could best practice agriculture and use the soil information, but you can also feed back information into the system to improve it.
Thank you for your thoughtfulness. It was a long sort of lead-in to the question. You unpacked it, I thought, quite elegantly. So let me just ask you, since my time's somewhat limited, what, if any, resources from Congress could assist you in adopting AI technologies or integrating AI-supported predictions into your analysis of what may be the next food insecurity crisis? What should we do to help you?
Yeah.
And if you'd like to sort of take that question under advisement and get back with me, that's acceptable as well, because I think you will soon see members of Congress attentive to and poised to act as it relates to artificial intelligence across every area of policy making. And the sooner we can incorporate some of the functionality of AI into decision making and other facets of alleviating food insecurity, I think probably the better.
Thank you. We'd be pleased to have a little time to think about that and get back to you.
Great.
Appreciate the question.
Thank you.
Let me just acknowledge Senator Young's leadership on the AI issue and really challenging all of us, particularly every committee, to look within our jurisdiction as to how we can advance America's leadership on AI applications. And I must tell you, I never thought about AI in regards to dealing with world hunger, but clearly there is a major role it can play. And if there's impediments by law in our international efforts, that's in our committee's jurisdiction, and we want to make sure when there's an opportunity to move an AI bill, which the leadership is very committed to doing, and Senator Young is playing a key role in that, that we address those issues. So, Dr. Fowler, if you will get back to us, not only to Senator Young, but our committee, if there's legislative issues that could be made more friendly towards the application of AI, and of course the resource issues are also very much within our committee's jurisdiction. So we would appreciate getting back. And Dr. Fowler, Senator Rich and I took a little bit of homage with your use of the age as affecting AI. Just want you to know that.